Hello friends, today we are going to take some notes on early explorers. You will need your red Alabama history folder and you will need a pencil, no markers or anything today. All right, and we are going to turn in our notebook to the next page, which is going to be page 6. All right, so the first thing we want to do is number our page, page 6. And the title of our page is going to be Early Explorers. All right, and before we get started, I do want you to know that if you run out of room on the front of this page, what I want you to do is turn over and write on the back, okay? Write on the back of page 6. Please don't go on to the next page because we will number that page, page 7. All right, so if you run out of room doing these, turn over to the back, all right? So from your Studies Weekly article today, we are just going to write down some of the most important things from those articles. We are going to begin with Spanish explorers. So Spanish explorers I need an R there, don't I? Spanish explorers. Spanish explorers are explorers from Spain. So their country of origin is from Spain. Spanish explorers traveled to the U.S. from Spain. Looking for riches like gold and silver. Okay, so looking for riches like gold and silver. All right, so the explorers from Spain, or Spanish explorers, came to what is now the United States. They were looking to get rich. They were looking for gold and silver. All right, another group of explorers that they had a lot of folks coming over to explore this new world were from France. All right, so French explorers and again, French explorers are explorers from France. Traveled to the U.S. They were looking for something different. So they traveled to the U.S. to trade goods with Native Americans and they had an ulterior motive to strengthen or make stronger, to strengthen French influence on them. All right, so what this means is the French explorers, they had two things that they wanted to do. When they came to the U.S., they wanted to meet the Native Americans that were already on the land here, and they wanted to trade their goods with them, but they also wanted to become good friends with the Native Americans, and we will learn later on, they wanted to become good friends with them so that they could have some of the resources that the land that the Native Americans lived on provided. All right. They wanted to make good friends with the Native Americans, so they would take their side if the Spanish or anyone else came and tried to take the land, or if anyone else tried to come and trade their goods with them. All right. So there were some impacts that explorers had on our Native Americans. All right. So impact of explorers on Native Americans. So the explorers came, and this is what happened to the Native Americans because of the explorers. All right, first, explorers brought not gifts, friends. They brought diseases with them. Which killed many Native Americans. So that's not good, right? Something else that was not good for the Native Americans was that they were forced to give up much of their land and culture because of the explorers. So the Native Americans were forced to give up much of their land and their culture, which includes just the way they do things. The explorers came in and just kind of took over the land, and they were not kind to the Native Americans, and they basically told the Native Americans, we are taking your land and you're going to do things the way we say now instead of the ways that you are used to doing them. All right. So I'll have to say that the impact of the explorers on Native Americans was not a positive thing, right? It wasn't a good thing for Native Americans. All right, so we have two more main points that I want us to get out of this early explorers section. The first thing is that a guy named Leif Erikson was the first European to sail to North America. Now, I know that a lot of us have heard and think and all that Christopher Columbus was the first guy to find North America, or the first explorer to find North America. But nope, that is incorrect. Leif Erikson was the first European, or person from Europe, to sail to North America. And remember, North America is the continent that the United States is on. North America includes the United States and Canada. All right. So Leif Erikson was the guy. Now we're going to make a note on this because once again, I know that Christopher Columbus kind of gets all the credit for finding North America and what we know now as like the United States. But I want to talk about the reason he gets that credit instead of that guy, Leif Erikson. It's because Leif Erikson did sail to North America, but Christopher Columbus, when he sailed here, he found it and he shouted it to the rooftops. He told anybody that would listen what he found. So he's the reason the rest of the world heard about or learned about this new quote-unquote continent that they didn't know about, but he was not the first to sail there, okay? So we are going to say that Christopher Columbus, that rascal, often gets credit for being first, because he's the one who told the rest of the world about it. Oops, not a period yet, Miss Lawrence. All right, so Leif Erikson was actually the first European to sail to North America and land here. But Christopher Columbus gets all the credit because he sailed here and then he told everybody about it. Leif Erikson didn't tell about it like Christopher Columbus did. Okay? All right, so those are your notes for early explorers.